From Theater Arts Arena on the Rockville campus of Montgomery College, it's the 2010 Montgomery College Alumni Awards.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Costello. I'm the president of the Alumni Association. I have one friend in the crowd. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2010 Alumni Awards and the Hall of Fame Awards. As I said, I feel like the Rodney Dangerfield of alumni presidents. You all must be very special people because I have the last table all the way in the back. So if anybody wants to give up their table, I'll be happy to take it. I'd like to begin the evening by thanking the organizers and the sponsors who are thoughtful enough to give us money for this annual dinner. We have AAA Mid-Atlantic, Thomas F. Barrett Incorporated, MSI Universal, and the Sanford and Doris Slavin Foundation. We are grateful. There you go. Thank you. That was Lon Anderson of the AAA. He was standing up. He wanted. We're also grateful for the individual sponsors that you can see in your booklets tonight, because without all these people, we couldn't put these dinners together.
Good evening. I hope everybody had a good dinner. Those of you who don't know me, I am Steve Simon. If you don't know me, it's probably because you were not one of the administrators that I was in trouble with many years ago here at Montgomery College. But it's a pleasure to have all of you out here, and it's a great evening to recognize some great people. And I'm expecting rowdiness from the athletic section up there. As the night goes on, so I'm figuring that's where it's going to be. And we will just have to see how it goes. Did everybody enjoy the dinner, though? Very nice dinner tonight? That's good. That's great. Now, some of you may recall me for my time when I was the director of communications here, but for me, it's nice to come back to the college after a couple of years of being away, and it's a great honor for me to do this. But I got to tell you, I just cannot believe that I'm sitting here at these Alumni Awards, and I get to have the honor of being the MC. Because years and years ago, it wouldn't have worked out like that at all. I think there was I had the chance to be the editor of the student newspaper when I was here, and I had another person who is in the house tonight who preceded me was really a legend as a student newspaper editor, and I'm going to say it over there, Lon Anderson, long before I got there in that job, a little bit before. But it's a lot of us who found a real start here at Montgomery College one way or another, whatever our fields were, whatever we wanted to do. For me, it was going into the media and communications field. And I just remember there was one edition that we put out when we were here, and it was, I think it was somewhere around April 1st that we put this edition out. And we produced a cover story about the disappearance, oh, I see a face of it, somebody who remembers this, the disappearance of the administration building. And we didn't have Photoshop and all those fancy things back then. We just had good photographers who knew how to do it. So we produced this story, and I think we had somebody quoted in this special April Fool's edition saying that the item was missing, but that nobody cared. So, and then at the same year, I also was very proud to be one of the organizers of the campus-wide water balloon battle. I think we went in and out of 7, 8 buildings, and I think we paid the price dearly for that. And then to think after all that, they made me an administrator here at this college one day. So I think it just says that you know, we can all grow up sometime, and all good things have to come to an end. One of the things that I enjoyed most when I was the director of communications at Montgomery College, and I think hopefully you all still will hear this said today, but the words Montgomery College, endless possibilities. Does anybody know that phrase? All right, you'll see that on buses, you'll hear that on the radio, and you'll hear students talk about this. And we were really very proud that this has become a brand that really helped to tell the story of Montgomery College and said so much about it. It's just an amazing message. It's very true. It's very true to life, I think, for the students that are here. And I think that one of the things that was exciting is that the students, the faculty, the alumni, everybody really embraced it. And it just worked very well. And my former boss down here, and I hope you're still going to keep that brand. I know it's out there spreading the good word about Montgomery College. Dave Sears down there. But one thing is that when you're doing advertising, as you know, it's not always on the first try that you get it right. You know, so there were some other ideas, other slogans that we tried out, and you know, we did what we do at colleges. You ask around, you try to get your campuses engaged, get them excited about your marketing, and so we wanted a little help on it. So we went to the Rockville campus, and we said, look, we're trying to come up with a new slogan, new idea, a new way to brand this college and put it on the map. So we had the Rockville campus group come around, and they said, okay, we got one. Harvard schmarvard, we are Harvard on the Pike. Now everybody's heard Harvard on the Pike and knows about that one, right? But we said, no, we're going to have to let that go. But Paula, Tacoma Park campus, which is now the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, was totally not to be outdone. So they came along and said, you can't do that Harvard on the Pike thing. That's so old. It's Yale schmale, come to Yale on the rail. They're close to the metro station down there. We're not there tonight, but they have an affection to be close to that. So that's it. Now, any Germantown people in the house tonight? Germantown? Anybody went to Germantown? All right. Germantown came along a little later, and it's a little bit different part of the county, as we all know. And back when it opened, I think it was pretty much, as they say, it's just a cow pasture. If you look at history books in the college and everything, they talk about it. It's a big cow pasture. So they come along with this idea. Got milk and a great education, all at Montgomery College, Germantown. So we thought about that one for a little bit, and we said, no, that might be a little too long, and we got a little copyright problem with this whole got milk thing. So we ended up with Montgomery College, Endless Possibilities. And focus groups and everything aside, I think we did it right, and I think it really says the story. And I think tonight, in all seriousness, this is really a recognition of many of the people who were out there producing these endless possibilities during their years as students here, and all of the wonderful things that you all have accomplished. Our awardees that you're going to hear about tonight are so accomplished in everything they've done since. So I think that hopefully they're going to hang on to that phrase. I think it really says it. And very proud always to have a chance to be back here at Montgomery College. I have to give you one more housekeeping item. Some of you know, if you watch award shows like the Academy Awards and the Emmy Awards, and they're all very exciting, and tonight is a very exciting night. But sometimes there are people who, if it goes a little long, and I know that's not going to happen with our awardees tonight because we've coached them on that and everything. But we are very, very proud of you. But we will, if we have to, we do have a device. And Mike, are you upstairs there? What else happens if you go a little too long? You know that song that the Academy. All right, that's good. That's good, Mike. So I don't want to have to call out Mike with the music. I certainly don't want to pull this out, and I also do not want to take away from the honors for our guests tonight. So I just would ask you to please just keep within that time. We'll all do a great job. All right. First of all, we want to recognize some very special people that are here tonight. And the first one I want to recognize is somebody who has been in the Maryland House of Delegates for 24 years, and he has been as great a friend to Montgomery College as Montgomery College could possibly have in the state of Maryland, and is a proud alum himself of Montgomery College, and he will be retiring, we just understood, from the Maryland General Assembly after 24 years, and he's here tonight. Delegate Hank Heller, thank you so much, Hank, for being here. Thank you. Thank you. We have, representing the Board of Trustees, Dr. Michael Lynn, who is the chair of the Board of Trustees, and I will say, as everybody knows, provided such great leadership to the college over the last few years. And of course, we have the Board of Governors from the Montgomery College Alumni Association. And as I call your name, let me go through these, and let me ask you to stand, and then maybe we'll recognize everybody together. First of all, you saw him before, but Bob Costello, the president of the Montgomery College Alumni Association. Don Kruger, Rosemary Arcan, Sue Flatto, Carol Leahy, Judith Von Prather, Lon Anderson, Stacy Wood, Anita Neal Powell, Lucy Vitaliti, Dr. Lucy Vitaliti, Helen Youth, Jorge Arrudia, Lori Thomas and Marvin Thomas, and Tony McCann. Thank you. And one more, who you're going to hear more about a little later this evening as well, Tookie Gentilcore. At this time, it's a real special pleasure for me to invite to the stage one of the vice presidents here at Montgomery College, the academic vice president, a very good friend of mine, Ms. Paula Metesky.
Good evening. After you heard from Steve Simon, you know now why we have a student code of conduct. When he was talking about a former edition of the Spur, I was remembering a different one, actually. I always remember the April Fool's edition, which announced the closing and the demolishing of the Germantown campus. There were actually people at Rockville who believed it and were happy. No, that's true. Right? Not so much. The Spur and Excalibur at Tacoma Park and the other newspapers, despite some of their April Fool's editions, have been wonderful additions to the college's education of our students and also to help inform our students of activities and stories. So thank you all for being here. I'm sitting with the Spurites over there, editors of the Spur. It's really an honor for me to be with you this evening representing our president, Dr. Hercules Pinckney. I'm particularly humbled by representing him. He has done an outstanding job in helping Montgomery College become an institution of restored confidence. And even in these times of incredible uncertainty regarding the college's budget for next year, it is especially reassuring to know that Dr. Pinckney is at the helm of this great institution. So even in his absence tonight, I'd like us to give him a round of applause for this highly dedicated individual. Now, 45 years ago, this coming September, I first stepped foot on the Rockville campus, what was then the new campus of what was then Montgomery Junior College. Some of you know I attended Rockville the very first semester it opened in the fall 1965. And it's true, I had never, ever seen the campus because Rockville was barely going to be open in time for classes, so we had to register at Tacoma Park for the Rockville campus. And I remember my first impression, mud, mud, mud. Now, as you drove in this evening, you saw the construction of the new Science Center. And guess what we're back to? Mud, mud, mud. But I think you'll be excited and heartwarmed when you see what that building becomes for our students. And I know when we have a grand opening in the fall of 2011, we will be having events for you to see what this college is then able to do for our students. I vividly remember the faculty who were here back then, and some are here this evening. Don Drown, who was not my phys ed teacher, but I really liked him. Ray Fox, who I can remember had an accident with a pitching machine one day on the baseball field, coaching his players. Come on, Ray, stand. Don Drown, stand. Jim Davis, Frank Peterson, Bruce Wagner, John Kreisig, all of you stand. And not only physical education professors, but people like Flo Ashby, professor of mathematics, Bill Anderson in business, and John Yarnell in English. Some of you will probably remember them. The list goes on. And some of the other faculty members who are here this evening. Please stand if any of the rest of you are faculty members who I did not call out, or former faculty members. Tom Bickey, I know, is here too. Helen Youth. And many students I have come to know over the years, including Esther Newman, who founded Leadership Montgomery. Esther? And Lon Anderson, who was mentioned earlier, who's the voice of AAA. You'll hear him on the radio. I really knew I was getting old when I realized that I call him Lonnie. And someone said to me, Lonnie? Well, I knew him when he was a student leader with the newspaper in 1967. I am sure that all of you as honorees have names you would add to the list. Tonight is for us to celebrate you, however, our award recipients. And through your incredible achievements, both while you were students here at Montgomery College, as well as beyond, by your service to the college, and by the special honor that you, yes you, give us by your affiliation with the college, Montgomery Junior College, or whatever name we had when you attended. You are a tribute to us and to the faculty, staff, and administration who have been a part of your lives and have been a fabric of this place. We are warmed by your presence, and we are honored that you remember us as part of your lives. We are inordinately proud of your accomplishments and who you are individually. So let's enjoy the evening knowing that, as Dr. Pinckney likes to say, Montgomery College is strong, Montgomery College is family, Montgomery College is one. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Okay, as I said, this is the night we come together now to highlight the accomplishments of Montgomery College's alumni and to induct the new members into our Athletic Hall of Fame. Among our honorees tonight are the winners of the Milton F. Clogg Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award, the college's most prestigious award for former students. This award is presented each year by the Alumni Association to individuals who have demonstrated exemplary service to their profession, to their community, or to the college. The award is named in honor of Milton Sonny Clogg, an extraordinary alumnus from Montgomery College's first graduating class, the class of 1948. Sonny was the motivating force behind the creation of a formalized alumni association in the early 1980s. And he volunteered tirelessly and made generous gifts to the college throughout his life. As many of you know, Sonny passed away last week after a long and remarkable career. Our thoughts are with his wife Alice, who joined him at these dinners when he was still able to be with us and with his family. And we were fortunate to call Sonny one of ours. If anybody knew Sonny, and I know a lot of you did, you knew that if anybody loved to give back to Montgomery College in every way, and who would be smiling on this event, because this is an event that was always so important to him, and it really honors everybody who came through, you would know that Sonny is smiling on this whole event, but we will mourn his loss.
I met Milt, of course, at the college, and we didn't know each other, and we were such a small group that at all the functions that we went to, the dances and things, I knew his wife, and we sat together many times. And Milt was responsible for me as far as coming in and helping to work on the 50th anniversary. I remember he called me and said, I want to meet you for lunch because I would like to talk to you about the committee that we're forming. And that's all Milt had to say to me was, I want you to work on this committee. He was one of those, you just did what he wanted you to do. He was a fantastic person.
He was a very warm, gentle, kind, and generous man. He always took time for people. He always made you feel special, and he was the one who was very, very special.
Where other professions recognize their elites with Oscars or Emmys or Tonys, we're proud to honor Montgomery College's finest alumni with the Sonnies. Sonny was one of two past recipients of the Outstanding Alumni Award, to whom we said goodbye during the past year. The other was also known to many longtime members of the college community. Irvin Schick. Irv began his involvement with Montgomery College even before he knew it, as a member of the Bliss Electrical School's class of 1947. He continued to share his life with us, teaching here when the Bliss School became part of Montgomery College and later becoming Dean of Administration at the college, and establishing an endowed scholarship to support future generations of our students. And he also shared his family with us as his daughter Carolyn taught chemistry recently at the Rockville campus. Sonny and Irv, we will miss you both, and we honor you. The names of earlier recipients of the Sonny Clogg Award are listed in your program tonight, and a number of our past award recipients are here with us tonight. I would like to ask them to stand so that we may acknowledge them. Judith von Prather, Sue Flatto, Bob Costello, Hank Heller, Stacy Wood, Lon Anderson, Dr. Irving Jacobs, Jorge Arrudia, and Esther Newman. Thank you. Now, also tonight, we are inducting into our Hall of Fame former members of our football, baseball, boxing, basketball, golf, and track teams. And by the way, if anybody didn't hear this, what is it? I think we have a national championship cricket team now, so maybe someday we'll be honoring these former cricket players from Montgomery College. Now, if you were counting, that was just the 6 sports. The fact that we have 4 new members of the Hall of Fame might give you an idea of how special a night this is. 6 sports, 4 honorees. So think about that as we go on here. The Athletic Hall of Fame was established by members of the MC Club and college coaches, many of whom are with us tonight, for the purpose of recognizing former student athletes and coaches. The criteria for induction into the Athletic Hall of Fame include outstanding athletic achievement as a student, outstanding contributions as a coach, and/or outstanding athletic achievement as a player or coach after leaving Montgomery College. Tonight, as we induct the newest members of the Hall of Fame, I would invite you to review the list of past recipients who are listed in your program. At this time, I would ask the members of the Hall of Fame who are with us this evening to please stand to be recognized with a round of applause. We're delighted to have you with us this evening to support our new Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Terry Cox, Mike Carroll, Jim Davis, Earl Lauer, Fran Perry, Tommy Davis, Don Drown, Frank Peterson, Tom Bickey, Ray Fox, and Bruce Wagner. Congratulations all of them. All of these athletes, as well as those that we will honor tonight, are featured in the Athletic Hall of Fame display in the lobby of the Rockville campus Physical Education Center of Montgomery College. They are also featured on the Athletic Hall of Fame pages in the alumni section of the Montgomery College website, and we invite you to check that out when you have a chance. At this time, I'd like to ask Paula Matusky and Bob Costello to join me in the presentation of tonight's awards. Our first honoree tonight is entering the college's Athletic Hall of Fame. Please welcome Theodore David from the class of 1958. He was nominated by his daughter, Karen David Walker. Ted served in the U.S. Navy and Ted served in the U.S. Navy and carried his love for football to the field, winning against Newport Naval Air Station during the first Naval District Football Championship and was voted the most valuable player. At Montgomery College, he was outfielder on the 1957 varsity baseball team. He was named the best boxer and light heavyweight champion the same year, named the Syrian Sea Breeze by the school newspaper. He was a standout quarterback and safety on the football team in both 1956 and 1957, and was a member of the basketball team which won the Student Court Intramural Championship in 1957. Now, how many of you were counting sports there? That was 4 sports Ted played at Montgomery College. After graduation from Montgomery College, he attended the University of Corpus Christi in Texas, where he received a full football scholarship, made the Dean's List several times, and won the highest academic average of any athlete award in 1959. Ted pursued a career in the Internal Revenue Service as he studied law and earned a doctorate in law in 1967 from the University of Miami in Florida. In 1997, he retired after 37 years at the IRS and immediately began work as a manager for his son's financial services office while practicing pro bono law in Washington, D.C. Because of his lifelong interest in sports, Ted found time to serve as player coach in a flag football league in Miami and baseball coach for the Montgomery County Recreation Department. He also pitched for his church's softball team for several years and was an avid tennis player. More sports. He and his wife, Patricia, a retired teacher, have 3 children and 6 grandchildren. Congratulations, Ted. Congratulations.
Mr. David, I'm very, very happy to award you with this plaque. And you are a wonderful tribute to our athletic program, as you can witness so many of the athletic coaches here tonight. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
And we have a microphone.
Testing. Well, they said, Ted, say anything you like, but do it in 2 minutes.
You can have 3. I'm giving you 3.
I'd like to thank all of you for attending and supporting this award. It's really a thrill to be singled out among your peers and given credit for doing what you really try and want to do and be successful at it. Montgomery Junior College started me out. I must say I wasn't the best student in the world when I was in high school. I still loved sports, but I didn't love studying. And so I went into the service right after I graduated high school. Well, within 6 months of graduating. And there I played sports, as he mentioned. He didn't leave a lot for me to say about my buyout, so I won't talk too much about that. But sports played a big part in my upbringing and in my life. Let's see, when I played ball for Montgomery Junior College, I was offered some different scholarships, and me and 4 other players with MJC were offered full scholarships, so we decided to go to Texas and kept hearing about how beautiful the girls were there. So I went there in January of '58, and I was in the Tarpon Inn, which is a place where the students hang out, and I was with another guy that was on a basketball scholarship, and I had just been there just a couple of days. We came out of the Tarpon Inn, they called it, and there was a young lady jogging across the campus, and it's all I could see were those big blue eyes. And I said to the guy with me, who was, well, I said a basketball player. And I said, man, who is that? And he said, Patsy Buchanek. And I said, you know her? He said, yeah. I said, you got to get me an introduction. He said, Ted, I know you're a ladies' man, but every guy on campus is trying to get a date with her. So I said to him, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, you give me an introduction, let me worry about the rest of it. I said, the hunt is over. That young lady is sitting back there at table 9. And she's saying, don't say any more. Who's keeping track of my time? I don't want to take somebody else's time. And I was there 2 years, played football, as he said, and graduated and went on. But the thing I took care of almost first thing was getting married to my dear Patsy. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank my family and friends at different tables there. The good Lord has been so good to me. I'm very fortunate in everything that I've tried to do. I've been successful, reasonably successful at. You heard him say 57 years with the Internal Revenue. 37, yeah. 37 years with the Internal Revenue Service. And I never told people that when I was working for them. I'm being upfront and honest now. But if you're having, no, I'm just kidding. I was going to say, if you're having a problem with the IRS, call me up and I'll give you some good hints on how to do them. Well, I think that's about 2 minutes. Yeah, she's nodding her head. 2 minutes is up. But God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ted, and I'll tell you what, there's no 2-minute rule on that. We appreciate it, and we congratulate you on everything. Thank you so much. Thank you.
When I graduated high school, Coolidge High School, I went up to MJC, it was then, and took the entrance exam and did terrible. I was a terrible student in high school. I'm evidence that if a kid really wants something, no matter what his high school grades were like, he can achieve things. I went on a full scholarship with the University of Corpus Christi, played football, and the biggest and best thing that happened to me as a result of taking that scholarship was I met my wife. She was a cheerleader. She was Miss Everything at University of Corpus Christi. She even rode barrel racing. They would have a rodeo, and she was an accomplished horseback rider. So I graduated University of Corpus Christi, started looking for a job, got a job with the Internal Revenue Service, and married my wife that I met out in Texas, and I stayed with the Internal Revenue Service for 38 years. And I'm retired now and I have a nice pension as a result of that. So Montgomery Junior College was part of a desire to do better. And so I did pretty good at Montgomery Junior College and thereafter.
Our first Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award honoree this evening is Emilie Crown. And you may notice we're going back and forth here. We have our Athletic Hall of Fame, and now we're going to move back and forth here a little bit. Emilie Crown is a nursing program graduate from the class of 1979, and she was nominated by a good friend of mine down there, Nancy Aldis. Before coming to Montgomery College, Emilie earned a degree in pre-medical studies from Goucher College. She briefly attended graduate school at Stanford University and earned her emergency medical technician certificate from Foothill College, also in California. Emilie's experience as a nurse expands across 3 decades working at Montgomery General Hospital, Suburban Hospital, and Shady Grove Adventist Hospital. She has served at the Pediatric Advanced Life Support Program for Adventist Health Care and is currently the manager for the Child Passenger Safety Program of Montgomery County's Fire and Rescue Services. A lifetime member of the Emergency Nurses Association, where she is currently treasurer of the Mid-Maryland chapter, she was also named coordinator of the Montgomery County chapter of Safe Kids USA last June. A friend described this dedicated public servant this way: Emilie does so much more than what is expected in almost every aspect of her life. She has become the face of Montgomery County's Child Passenger Safety Program. She is always available to educate, guide, and encourage citizens, volunteers, and professionals. That sense of service and dedication is further reinforced by her family. Her husband and a son are both Montgomery County firefighters. Let's congratulate Emilie Crown.
All right, well, I have a hard act to follow, but I want to thank Lon Anderson for being here, and I also saw Kiko car seat earlier, so I'm right at home. But I am truly honored and humbled to receive this high honor. My training at Montgomery College in nursing was the best educational experience I ever received. And as time goes on, I am only more thankful and more aware of the opportunities that MC gave me. After working in the field of emergency nursing for more than 20 years, turning my focus to injury prevention was rather a natural progression. I find it much more rewarding to educate people how to avoid an injury than dealing with an injured child. I cannot thank Montgomery County enough for allowing me to pursue my dream job in child passenger safety. Children are our future, and keeping them safe on our roads is so important. Unintentional injuries are the leading cause of death for children, and motor vehicle-related crashes make up a very large proportion of those deaths. I spend a lot of time in cars with parents demonstrating how to properly use their child restraints, and knowing that each time I do that, I am potentially saving a life is a very rewarding experience. Montgomery County Fire Rescue Division of Community Risk Reduction is really the perfect place to disseminate life-saving information to parents, and I congratulate Chief Bowers for his commitment to the car seat program, and thank all of the many dedicated certified technicians who have worked alongside me to educate parents in our community. I have to give you a brief educational message as well. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. 4 bullets. Keep your children in the back seat of your car. They're 42% safer there. Use booster seats until at least age 8, because that's Maryland's law. Keep children rear-facing as long as possible, because they are 75% safer rear-facing than forward-facing. Get your car seats checked by a certified technician, because we find, unfortunately, 80% of the time they are not properly used, and always buckle up. In closing, I want to thank Nancy for my nomination, my family, especially my husband, Monty. He is truly a saint, for putting up with my often insane working hours and for believing in the work that I do. I would not have been able to accomplish what I have without his support and frequent assistance. And I also want to thank my son, Christopher, and his wife, Ellen, for making us grandparents of a beautiful girl named Brooke. And yes, she does ride in a properly installed car seat. So I am also, most importantly, thrilled to have my mother here this evening. She has been a constant teacher, mentor, friend, cheerleader, and a lifelong example of all the benefits and rewards of community activism. Thank you again very much for this honor.
I am just overwhelmed. I'm really gratified, very, very honored to be here. And the only other thing that even came close to this was after I graduated, about 10 years after I graduated, I was asked to be the commencement speaker at the nursing, for the nursing program for their graduation. And I just found that incredible, but this even tops that. Well, I had gotten my bachelor's degree earlier, and my original plan was to go to medical school. I was a pre-med major, and I was married, and my husband was a grad student at Stanford, and so he had 1 year left, and I decided to just be a grad student at large for that year and then continue on. And I ended up getting divorced, and I decided I didn't want to wait to go through all the years of medical school. I just wanted to get active in medicine right away. And so what I did was come to MC. And I remember distinctly thinking, oh, after 4 years at Goucher, this, will be easy. This was the hardest 2 years of my education. It was the best educational experience I ever received. And as soon as I graduated from nursing school here, I've worked as a nurse for over 20 years. And so it was a very natural progression for me to go from emergency nursing into my current field of injury prevention. But it was absolutely, hands down, the best education I ever received was here.
Oh, when I think of what a car seat was back when we were kids. They were just those things that you sat on just so you could see over the dashboard with your parents or something. Not much safety. Not much safety there. Thank God that everything has changed, and thank you, Emilie. Now I'd like to invite the next Athletic Hall of Fame inductee to the podium, Adam Haba of Class of 2000. Adam was nominated by Frank Peterson over at Table 17 there. Adam held the #1 position for the 1999 golf team, finishing 5th in the National NJCAA Division III Conference. As team captain in 2000, he was selected the All-Region, All-20 Region, All-Conference, and All-American golfer for 1999 and 2000. After Montgomery College, Adam went on to Wesley College on a golf scholarship and earned a bachelor's degree in business in 2003. All these he accomplished while struggling with attention deficit disorder. He found Montgomery College very helpful in preparing him for further education. His talents and confidence, which supported him at MC, continued to show at Wesley. Adam placed 2nd in the 2001 Wesley Invitational. He tied for 1st in the 2002 District 2 Cross Creek Invitational, 3rd in the Gettysburg Invitational. He was a member of the first team All-PAC, that's the Pennsylvania Athletic Conference, in 2001 and 2002, and he played in the 2002 NJCAA District 3 Championships, as well as in the Montgomery County Amateur Tournaments held between 2001 and 2006. He coordinates the Andrew Haba Scholarship Golf Tournament at Shepherd College in memory of his late brother, and he is an active instructor in the Junior Golf Clinic at the Little Bennett Golf Course in Clarksburg, Maryland. He was named Montgomery College Athlete of the Year in 2000. Congratulations, Adam. Congratulations.
I promised my wife I wouldn't cry, so. Good evening. First, I would like to thank the members of the selection committee for nominating me for this great award. I am very honored and proud to be among such outstanding individuals. Attending Montgomery College certainly has been an important experience in my life. This experience has instilled many essential academic and athletic principles in which has greatly influenced my life. Being a member of the Montgomery College golf team was such a memorable and meaningful experience for me. I enjoyed it immensely, and through this experience I've traveled to new places and have met many good people, including Coach Peterson. He has been such an outstanding mentor, good friend to me through the years. Thank you, Coach, for your guidance and friendship. I want to thank many of my friends and family for taking time out of their busy schedules to be with me this evening. I especially want to thank Coach Peterson and his wife Linda for traveling from North Carolina to be here tonight. I also would like to thank Bill and Scott Kemmies for teaching me how to play and the rules of golf. I also want to thank my dad for traveling with me to many golf tournaments while attending both Montgomery College and Wesley College. I appreciate everybody's support. Good evening. Thank you. Feels good. I mean, I had to take a little walk around the campus because it's changed so much since, I was here. I mean, I missed the fish pond's gone, which I was kind of shocked about, but it feels really good. It brings back so many good memories. I mean, I remember just like sitting in the veranda over there in between classes with some of my, teammates, in between like finishing at regionals, getting ready to go to North Carolina for nationals. I mean, just thinking about that, the memories still resonate here. It's like really good memories of good times with good friends and great teachers. I was actually sad to go when I went to college, when I went to Wesley after I was finished, because I got so accustomed to here and the facilities and the teachers. The teachers were the hardest part to leave behind, and I think that's what affected me the most were the teachers. I mean, even though like my professors at Wesley College were good, I don't have as fond of memories of them as I do the ones that I've had here. I just can't believe it, to be honest with you. Like today, I just had a hard time realizing that this is going to happen, and now I'm part of the Hall of Fame. It's it's a really big deal, and it's very special, and I'm very proud and very humbled by it.
Now, Bob back here, I think, was trying to get a couple of quick tips, but we know what the going rate is, Bob. If you're going to get lessons, you're going to have to see Adam out on the course. Now, just to keep everyone on their toes, I'm going to make a change in the order of awards from what was listed in the program. Our next Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award honoree for this evening is known to many of us who served on the Alumni Board, and I had the pleasure of serving on the Alumni Board in the past and know what a wonderful person this next person is, not just in that capacity, but in so much he's done in the community. Let me ask Tookie Gentilcore from the class of 1994 to join me at the podium. Tookie was nominated by our friend and fellow former Alumni Board member, Esther Newman, who I must say, as a Leadership Montgomery graduate of class of 2006 myself, is somebody who has helped to shape so many leaders in this county and that we owe a great debt of gratitude to, and has been a past president of the Montgomery College Alumni Association. Esther, good to see you. Tookie is well known for her leadership in her hometown of Poolesville, as well as in the Montgomery College Alumni Association. Tookie has poured her energies and leadership into the PTA, into the creation of a language immersion program at Monocacy Elementary School, into the Up-County Citizens Advisory Board, the Germantown Police Station's Citizen Advisory Board, the Montgomery County Alliance for Academic Excellence, and Dwelling Place, for which she received the Mel Collodion Outstanding Volunteer Award. Tookie became our Alumni Association's president in 2007, and she is now completing her year as immediate past president. She was instrumental in launching the Alumni Association's fundraising effort called Mobile Masterpieces, which will return this fall to the Morris and Gwendolyn K. Fritz Foundation Arts Center on the Tacoma Park, Silver Spring campus. And for those of you that have not been down there, you need to go to this event. If you've not seen this building and seen this wonderful new addition to Montgomery College, you must see it. And many months ago, she enthusiastically volunteered to seek sponsorships for tonight's Alumni Awards dinner, not knowing that she had been nominated for an award herself. A Girl Scout cookie mom, Cookie, Recreation Department baseball and basketball coach recognized by Leadership Montgomery as an unsung hero for her activism, Tookie is the mother of two and a grandmother. Please join me in congratulating Tookie Gentilcore.
Thanks, Steve. I am very, very thankful to be a recipient of the Sonny Clogg Outstanding Alumni Award. It's very nice for me as a volunteer to receive an award like this. Let me first begin by thanking Esther Newman for nominating me, and Sue Flatow and the members of the Alumni Awards Committee for selecting me, and the Board of Governors for affirming my selection. I had been volunteering for many years by the time my son Mark was attending a co-op nursery school, where parents take turns helping in the classroom. One afternoon, he turned to me and said, "Will you be the co-op mom when I'm in college?" Well, Mark, I did my best, but the professors at Montgomery College didn't need my help in the classroom, so I became part of the alumni board instead. Perhaps the first and biggest benefit I receive from volunteering is the satisfaction of incorporating service into my life and making a difference in my community. The intangible benefits alone, such as pride and satisfaction, a sense of accomplishments, are rewards in themselves. And they're also worthwhile reasons to serve. But in addition, when we share our time and talents, we solve problems. We strengthen the organization we volunteer for, we improve lives, we connect with others, and all the while, we are transforming our own lives. Through volunteering, I learned and developed many skills, some of which are not part of a formal education, like listening skills, the importance of consensus building, and how to move an agenda. My volunteering has fostered many friendships. Some of those friends are here tonight, and I thank you for sharing this evening with me. And volunteering has helped me make good decisions. You know, like choosing to go to the meeting instead of sitting at home watching shopping television stations and bankrupting my family. Volunteering has truly rewarded me far more than I will ever be able to pay back. I believe volunteering is not a choice, it's a responsibility. We must share our God-given talents with others. And remember, the Montgomery College Alumni Association is always recruiting volunteers. In fact, I am sure there are applications in the back, and you can sign up tonight. I attribute this award and my ability to find the time to volunteer to a lot of folks. First, they're my former employers, Joan Paul and Jean Cunahan, and my current employer, Tom Barrett, for allowing me the flexibility in my work schedule, for letting my volunteer projects kind of overflow into the workplace, but mostly for encouraging me to volunteer. Also, mentors like Jeff Slavin and Esther Newman and all of Leadership Montgomery helped me build connections and improve my skills. Third, the organizations like the PTAs, the Dwelling Place, and the Alumni Association for letting me pretend to be a fundraiser or a graphic designer, an event planner, or a number cruncher, hats that I would never be asked to wear in the workplace. But mostly, this award is owned by my family, who have obviously shared me with the community and continue to do so. And Sarah, lest you think there's not a good volunteering story about you, here goes. When Sarah was a savvy kindergarten student, she drew a picture of her family for back-to-school night. When the teacher asked her to describe the picture, she said, "This is me, and this is my house. This is my dog, Coco. This is my brother. This is my dad." Well, the teacher said to her, "Well, where is your mother?" She flipped the picture over and said, "Here, she's at a PTA meeting." As Sarah will tell you, her dad and I got even when she tried to cut the apron strings by going away to college. Her dad and I became co-chairs of the College of Notre Dame's Parent Advisory Board. This award truly means a lot to me because it comes from colleagues and an institution that I value and treasure. And while it has many stakeholders and owners, that baby's going home with me tonight. But you all can come and visit it. Thank you for honoring me. I am really, truly pleased. I feel humble that they have chosen a lifelong volunteer to receive this award. It was a surprise. It was very nice. If I hadn't come to Montgomery College, first of all, I wouldn't have gotten hooked up with the Alumni Association, which has been an amazing organization to be part of since I graduated in '94. It is just wonderful to work with the alumni staff. It's wonderful to meet all of the people at the college and to be part of, to feel part of the college. Not as a student, but as an adult part of the college. It's great camaraderie, and I think everyone in the world would probably want to work here and work with these people. They're so wonderful. When I look at the list of recipients from other years, I am in awe of them, and I feel somewhat humbled to be in their presence because, my accomplishments have been somewhat ordinary in comparison to a lot of the other people who have received the Sonny Clogg Award.
One more round of applause for Tookie. Thank you. All right. It's what they call a page turn. Okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be now. Now I'd like to invite the next Athletic Hall of Fame inductee to the podium, John Mornini of the class of 1974. John was nominated by Jim Davis at Table 8. John was the lead athlete in the college's first 2 cross-country meets in the fall of 1972. He and Dave Lawrence led the cross-country team, taking the team to a record of 14 wins, 1 loss. They competed in the National Junior College Cross-Country Championship in Tallahassee, Florida, finishing in the top 40. John's track career continued, and he won All-American status in 1973 and 1974, setting school records, finishing 6th in the nation in both races. John graduated from Montgomery College in 1974 and returned as an assistant track coach to John Krysick in 1980. With more than 25 years of experience in the environmental field, John has performed environmental site assessments, including helping clean up a major oil spill in Panama in 1986. When he is not working, he competes at the Montgomery County Roadrunners Club and helps his brother Joe, who's with him tonight, with the Team River Runner program, teaching wounded warriors at the Walter Reed AMC how to kayak. And since we're talking about family, I should mention that Joe is also an alumnus of the class of 1972. John is also an accomplished acoustic musician in his 78th, got an applause for that, somebody likes acoustic musician in his 78th consecutive month streak, performing his Acoustic Favorites act at the Royal Mile Pub in Wheaton, Maryland. His daughter Joelle is a graduate of St. Mary's College, and his son Jonathan Woody is currently attending classes and working for Montgomery College. John attributes his achievements in life to Coach Jim Davis, who taught his students and athletes how they too could achieve the goal of fitness for life. Congratulations, John.
What an honor it is to be joining such an esteemed group of athletes and coaches in Montgomery College Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you. And thank you to the Alumni Association for supporting the mission of this college, in part by bringing us together each year to celebrate effort, achievement, and success across a broad range of individual endeavor. I feel fortunate to be standing here this evening. Thank you, Montgomery College, for providing me with both an excellent start to my college career and the best coaching I ever got as a college runner. I'm grateful for all my teammates here and friends in the running community who got me going and have since helped keep me going for the past 40 years. A word of remembrance to one of those friends, the late Dave Lawrence, who was a superb distance runner for MC, a great training partner, and a wonderful person. I want to thank my 2 now nearly grown children, Joelle Mornini, Jojo, and Jonathan Woodrum Mornini, Woody. Thank you for being here this evening and for all you've taught me as a person and as a parent. Nothing that I've ever accomplished or will ever achieve can match the pride I feel being your old man. That's been the greatest run of all. If I'd put my thank yous in chronological order, I would have started with my own dad and mom, Edward J. Mornini and Beatrice Woodrum Mornini, Ed and B. They lived through the Great Depression and 2 world wars, and they still managed to build a middle-class life for our nuclear family of 5. My old man had been a paratrooper in the Pacific, was a DC cop during my youth, and I admired his bravery and toughness. My mom was a Kentucky farm girl and devout Southern Baptist. So it was an old-school upbringing for me, my older sister, and my big brother. But we knew we were loved, and they were always there for us when we needed them. My sister, Patricia, Patsy, was 7 years older than me, and as such could be fairly annoying. But she influenced me a great deal because she got caught up in the folk music scare of the 60s. And she managed to take me along with her. We would sing together, which was actually a pretty good compliment to all that running. It's a wonderful memory and a gift that keeps on giving. My big brother, Joe. We were best friends as kids, played baseball together every day during the summer at Stony Brook, skipped school together some. He was then and still is a good bro and a worthy sibling rival. I truly admire him. He had my back then, still does, and I know he loves me as fiercely as I love him. When I was in high school, my eyesight changed, and not for the better. I was given a pair of glasses, just like these. And I decided that I'd rather squint. But that made it hard to hit a curveball or fastball, and I was cut from the Wheaton High School varsity baseball team as a senior. Yes, it was a little humiliating, but I'd already run cross country for 3 years, and it made sense to run outdoor track for the first time. I'm not sure who said this quote, but it was basically, don't let the things you can't do stop you from doing the things you can. Anyway, I think the track team was glad to have me. My mom, she was always fond of saying, Johnny, when one door closes, another one opens. And standing there on the other side of that door was my MC coach, Jim Davis. JD, we all called him JD. He's the real reason I'm standing here this evening. Coach Davis was then, and still is, passionate in his beliefs about health, fitness, and running. At MC, he lived those values, he taught those values, and he was actually quite colorful and amusing in the process. Several years ago, I read a book about Bill Bowerman, the Oregon coach of Steve Prefontaine and other Olympians. And the more I read about Bowerman, the more he reminded me of JD, especially in this important way. A lot of coaches believed in high-mileage training programs, 100-plus miles a week, kind of one size fits all, but not Bowerman and not Coach Davis. Coach didn't run us into the ground. He was observant and he was respectful. He even asked us questions like, how are you feeling? You know, how is this workout going? Have you recovered yet from that meet? No twittering, no Facebook, just face-to-face interaction with a respected winning coach and his student athletes. Coach Davis, thank you for being an outstanding and unique role model, a truly great coach, and a good friend still. And Joanne, keep an eye on him. And thank all of you for allowing me this chance to say my thank yous. Peace. Paz.
Feels wonderful. You know, Coach Davis has, been here every year, and so it's like a reunion of all of his runners, and so to be honored this way and for him to consider me worthy of joining him in the Hall of Fame is a great honor. Obviously, getting to run for a winning program made me realize I was a runner. Being at a school that was as good as MC made me a better student. And so I think it helped me just to realize, if you're committed to something, finish it up, like a college career, like working for a team. And even though there's been plenty of times when I've quit, there's probably been more times when I've stuck it out just because, I knew how to do that from my training here.
Thank you, John. One more round of applause. John Mornini. Our next Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award honoree this evening is Katherine Kaytee Mizell from the class of 1949. Yes, that's an applause line. She was nominated by Kathy Stevens. Kaytee's Modeling for Children class, offered through the Montgomery County Recreation Department since 1960, has helped children learn the proper way to be young ladies through 3 generations of changes in style and attitudes. As manager of the Modeling Moppets and Stage 2 teen model entertainment troops, Kaytee has raised more than $100,000 for children's charities, mostly through the annual Bunny Benefit celebration that she has been running since 1968. Kaytee's love for fashion and modeling were first kindled while taking a modeling course. Later, she found herself walking the runways of fashion shows in the Washington, D.C. area in the late 1940s and early 50s. She even became a regular guest on such shows as WTTG's Shop the Town with Diane Cameron and WRC's Time with Inga. Regarding her days at Montgomery College, Kaytee fondly remembers the drama club, the 75 women and 200 men in her class of 1949, and her history class with Professor Fox. That was Professor William Fox, in case you athletes were wondering, not Coach Fox up there. Outside modeling classes, Kaytee serves on the board of the nonprofit Women's Club of Bethesda Incorporated. Please join me in congratulating Kaytee Mizell.
I don't really know how my name got on this list of these distinguished people. I go way back. And my granddaughter said to me tonight, "You're the oldest one on here." And I said, "That's right. I was in the 2nd graduating class from Montgomery College. And this..." I'm one of those people that was 2 years as a freshman and 2 years as a sophomore. When I graduated from BCC, my father had decided I was to be a musician, so I entered Oberlin College up in Ohio, and I was there for 2 years and didn't like it because I wanted to be a jazz flutist. And there was no such thing being done back then. So I left after 2 years, and I came home, and I said, well, I'm going to go to college, but I think I want to go to Gettysburg, because that's where my future husband was going. And my parents said no, but I'll tell you what you can do. You can enter the new college that has just started down at the end of the street. And I lived that close to it. So I did, and I had 2 of the most wonderful years that I could ever hope for. The professors there were just wonderful. And you mentioned William Fox, who was a wonderful history teacher. And later I had him come over to my women's club because he wrote a book on Maryland, and we were so proud of that. And Dr. Allen, English teacher, and Rubini was our coach. And I took part in all the sports. I was in the drama club, which had 15 members. I was a cheerleader, and we just had a great time. Now, that's back when we were on the BCC campus, as I said, and you could not take any of your classes until all the kids at BCC left. So we would go to the con building, which we all hung out at, and then at 4 o'clock, we would start our classes over in BCC. It made it a little bit difficult because we didn't finish until like 10 o'clock at night. But we had wonderful, wonderful teachers and such a wonderful experience. I cannot tell you how much. After I graduated from Montgomery College, I graduated on the 10th. My husband, Bill, graduated from Gettysburg on the 10th. I graduated on the 6th. and we got married on the 21st. But I continued to do things for Montgomery College. I came back and later on did their mother-daughter banquets and even taught classes to the girls that wanted to learn how to align themselves and look proper. Those were wonderful years, and I look back at that time as one of the best in my life. Then I organized a group of children back in 1960 called the Modeling Moppets, and I am so proud of that group. They have been going all these years, and I just want to mention some of them that are here tonight with me because I am so proud that they think that much of this honor that I'm getting tonight to be here. Kelly Taylor, Shirley Afable, Jeannie Pym, Mary Norfolk, Marcia Knight, Sherry Strobel, Whitney Swiger, who is my granddaughter, and then my own daughter, Christy, and my son, Brad, are all here tonight. They know how much I thought of Montgomery College. And every women's club that I was in, we encouraged scholarships, and we still do. And my Moppets do a scholarship every year. So I'm happy. I'm just happy to be here tonight among all of you, and thank you for this wonderful honor. Well, I feel very honored, mainly because I have been, since I graduated, which was in the second graduating class of Montgomery College. We call it MJC back then because it was Montgomery Junior College. And I have kept track of the college all these years. I helped with the 50th anniversary that they did, and I knew Milt Clogg personally because he was in classes that I was in back at BCC. And I found that many of the things that I learned back in those first 2 years have helped me all through my life, and that has been wonderful. I took part in every single activity that was going on, which was fun because we were starting the yearbook. We helped to name that. And I worked on the newspaper. I wrote a column for that. I was a social chairman of the college and helped plan all their dances and the student council and activity councils that we had. And there were wonderful teachers, just excellent teachers.
How about another big round of applause, Kaytee Mizell. Class of 1949. Now I'd like to invite tonight's final Athletic Hall of Fame inductee to the podium, Marty Mundy from the class of 1970. Marty was nominated by Don Drown, another of our esteemed coaches, Coach Don Drown. Marty is a top scholar athlete who participated in both basketball and track while at Montgomery College. During his freshman year, he finished with a 23-5 record and won the Maryland Junior College Championship in basketball. He then attended Catawba College and earned letters for basketball and track. Upon graduation, he was drafted into the Army, where he served as a field artillery instructor for 2 years. From 1975 until 1977, Mr. Mundy returned to Montgomery College, where he served both as a health instructor and assistant basketball coach. He went on to earn his master's degree in education from Oregon State University and taught health education at Oregon's Lebanon High School until his retirement in 2005. While at Lebanon, he coached girls basketball and volleyball for 25 years, as well as football and track for 3 years. He now divides his time between Lisbon, Maryland, and Surprise, Arizona, with his wife, Joan. Surprise, Arizona. I've not heard of that. Those of you who are regular attendees of this awards dinner will know Ken Weiner. who's a lot funnier than me, if you've been to these things, and he's been the master of ceremonies. Okay, thank you very much. I was hoping for a little support from my friend over there, but he agrees. Ken Weiner, the funniest MC ever here at MC. All right. Now, Ken could not be with us tonight, but he did send some notes that should give us just a little better idea of what Marty Mundy is like. So I'll let Ken's story speak for itself. And I can't do the New York accent, but I'm going to do a few New York things like Ken would do. But Ken says, years ago, we had a faculty basketball team that I coached, no less, that competed in the Student Intramural League. Who was on the team, you ask? Studs like Don Palmer, Mike, how am I doing with the accent? I'm trying to, Mike Whitebroad, and Phil Martin, among others. Suffice it to say, it wasn't exactly like coaching Duke. For at least 2 campaigns, however, Marty joined us on that team. I think he was assistant basketball coach at that time under Coach Drown, so he was qualified as an adjunct faculty member. Needless to say, he was our go-to guy during the warm-ups, during the game, during the timeouts, during anything that was even remotely connected with basketball. Basically, we had one play: get the ball to Mundy and get the hell out of his way. We didn't exactly have balanced scoring, Ken says, during those games. A typical faculty box score at the end of the game looks something like this: Mundy 36, Palmer 1, Weiner 1, Martin 0, but 6 technical fouls, and the rest of the team about 3 points. And that is what Ken Weiner says about Marty Mundy. Great, great basketball player. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not sure that story about the faculty basketball was exactly true.
You said it was.
No, I actually do remember those games. They were a lot of fun. In 1968, I graduated from Richmond Montgomery High School in Rockville, Maryland. I have a little speech here, but if I try to do that, I'll mess up, so I'll just talk to you. And I was a lot like Ted earlier. I wasn't the best student in high school, but I loved school. I also had a passion for basketball, so I now wanted to continue on. And I actually received an opportunity to go to a college in South Carolina on a full basketball scholarship, Newberry College in Newberry, South Carolina. But I didn't want to leave home, so I ended up right up here. And part of that is, a couple people mentioned that the college opened in 1965. Well, I was one of the young guys that used to sneak up here, and after they would practice, we would sneak in the gym and we'd play. And back then they had wooden backboards. They didn't even have glass backboards that first year. I remember those very good. So needless to say, I ended up here, and it was a great influence on me the rest of my life. And the person who nominated me, Coach Drown, was a great influence on my life. And as was mentioned earlier, I ended up coaching in high school out in the state of Oregon. If you say Oregon, people from Oregon are highly offended. Exactly. No, that's okay. But I was in Oregon for 32 years altogether, but I coached high school basketball for 25. And most everything I did, I learned right here at MJC when I was here, Montgomery Junior College. And I did have the opportunity to play on a great team my first year. And one of the players that was on the team, Tom Davis, is over here, but he'll probably be the only one that will appreciate this story, but I gotta tell one story about Coach Drown. He had this drill. We had to run around the gym carrying a medicine ball. That was about 12 pounds. And we had one very fast guy on the team, Tom Davis. And he had a way of getting me behind Tommy, and I'd be chasing him, and just when I just about get ready to catch him, Coach Drown would blow his whistle, which meant we had to run the other way. So I used that drill a lot, but I always think of Coach Drown when I use that drill. But that first year I was here, we had a very good team, and they asked me in the interview earlier tonight, what was your fondest memory of Montgomery Junior College or Montgomery College? And without question, it was my first year. We had a team that really loved one another. We did end up, I think it was 23-5 or 24-5. We won the junior college state championship that year, and they're memories that I will never forget. But looking over here at this left side of the room, this is mainly my family and friends over here, and I'd appreciate it if you would stand up so I could take a break from talking. Two people I would like to single out. my sister Carolyn, who, she's right here taking my picture, I think. Carolyn was a great influence on me. Besides those Friday nights when she used to make us goulash as kids to give us our nourishment, but been a big influence on me my whole life. And my brother, Bo, who's back there, he actually wrote me a speech to give tonight, but I left it at home. But probably without him, I probably would have never ended up here, because like Ted mentioned earlier, I was not the best student in high school, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And my brother came here first, and he graduated in 2 years and went off to Frostburg. And then I followed his footsteps here. And the mission here, I just read this tonight, is we are in the business of changing lives here. And that certainly happened for me. It led me on to where I went to college in North Carolina. I ended up out at Oregon State. I got my master's degree out there. And you know, the rest, as they say, is history. I ended up staying out there for 32 years as a coach. And I also coach track some, and my track coach is here tonight too, Jim Davis, who I saw earlier. And I have to echo everything that was said earlier. I think John was speaking about Jim. Just a great coach, great influence on me. He was too. But and all my coaches, Ray Fox is over there I saw earlier. Tom Bickey snuck in. I didn't see him, but I can see his bald head over there, kind of like mine. And Bruce Wagner, who was my coach my first year up here, and actually went to the same college I did, Catawba. But I'm just amazed, Bruce, how many people think we're brothers? Anyway, in conclusion, I had a lot of great teachers here, but one I'll never forget, and some of you will know this name, Monty Pittner. But Monty used to always say, when you conclude, it's not the conclusion, but it's the denouement, and that's the only French I know. So my denouement tonight will be with a lot of pride and humility. I'm very honored, and I would like to thank you very much for this award. And once again, Coach Drown, thank you for the great influence you've been on me in my life, and thank you very much. Oh, I have one more thing. I know my 2 minutes are probably up. Like a couple people that were here earlier, they got married pretty quickly after college. I did the same thing. It took me 36 years to get married, but my lovely wife, Joan, who's my golf partner, stand up, honey. Okay, I'm glad I remembered that. Thank you very much. It's still a bit of surreal to me feeling, you know, you kind of don't know if you deserve it, but you're very humbled by it, and you have a lot of pride in it. So it's, I looked over the list of, I think I counted 60 names, and it's quite a fraternity of people. So just very honored. Something I didn't expect, but I'm very happy it happened. I just developed a sense of confidence here that I could do things. And it wasn't only athletics. In the classroom, some of my teachers, you know, Dr. Margaret Chapin was my anatomy teacher. I mean, I never imagined that I could go through science classes and do well. But so I kind of turned over a new leaf. I, you know, discovered if you work, anything is possible. And I had a group of, and I was a physical education major, and some of my teachers, Ray Fox, Tom Davis, Frank Toomey, Don Drown, those guys weren't afraid to pull you aside and say, you know, you better shape up or, you know, you're going to be shipping out quick. So I just responded good to all the motivation I got here. I often wonder what would have happened to my life if it wasn't for Montgomery College. I'm not sure I would have ever gone into secondary education, into college. You know, I'm sure I would have gone into the military, like I said earlier. That would have happened. And after that, I don't know, but Montgomery College really did help to shape and mold my life. And it opened up doors I know I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I just had a great career. What I did, I'm working with kids I loved, and a lot of that I got from people like Coach Drown and Coach Davis. I watched them here when I was a student. And I knew I wanted to do something like that. I didn't know I wanted to coach, but I knew I wanted to become a teacher. So without it, I guess your guess is as good as mine where I would have ended up. I don't think it would have been in a bad place. I'm sure I would have been successful in some capacity, but I have no clue. I'm just glad it was here for me.
Congratulations, Marty, Mundy. Another round of applause, please. Now I got to step off for a minute because Marty brought up Monty Pittner, and I'm going to say something. And I think one of the things that everybody has that really had that experience of having their lives changed through Montgomery College does remember those certain professors, counselors, whether it was a dean or whoever it was. And for me, it was also Professor Monty Pittner, and I know Lon Anderson joins me. And we've spent a lot of time in the media and communications field, and I think a lot of us say that that's where it came from, the influence we got. He used to do, I got to tell you really quick though, he used to be really rough when he would turn the papers back. Marty, I don't know if you remember this, but when he would turn papers back, and if he wasn't real happy with how things were looking, he would kind of say something like, there's this there's some of you I don't think know this, but there's this building over in the next building called the library, and there's this book here that you sometimes use that you can check your spelling called a dictionary, and he had these things that just got in your head, and you just got into habits that you just didn't forget. And lots of laughs and everything, but there are things that you would never, ever forget that the man said. And he was just a great influence on a lot of our lives. And I know everybody here has their own professors that way, and many of them are here tonight. So let me just say, we want to honor all the professors in the room once again. Thank you. Okay, we're going to close with a bang. Our final Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award this evening goes not to one person, but to 5 members of the same family. Bruce Patton, class of 1975. Ben Patton, class of 1977. Barry Patton, class of 1979. Bobby Patton, class of 1983. And Burt Patton, class of 1985. The Patton brothers were nominated by Michael Mihalik. Let's have a round of applause first for all of them. Now, hold on. Wow. I mean, to have the name Patton in the 70s, when we all learned through the movie about the great George Patton, I don't know, but I see all these B's in the name, so not sure there's a George in that family. But entrepreneurship came naturally to the Patton brothers, and with good reason. Their father, Bob Patton Sr., ran his sizable family with a system of incentives and rewards worthy of a Fortune 500 company. It is a value that, combined with education and experience, help realize their successes. Patton Electronics, a Gaithersburg firm which develops, manufactures, and distributes network access and connectivity products worldwide, was founded by brothers Bobby and Burt in 1984 while they were still in college. Within a few months, they were joined by older brother Bruce. Barry is the founder and chief executive officer of Data Connect Enterprises, Patton's largest distributor of networking equipment, with subsidiaries in Texas and Pennsylvania, while Ben, a CPA, is president of Patton and Brock PC in Vienna, Virginia, which provides accounting services to, you guessed it, Patton Electronics. That's good. They keep it in the family. Please join me in congratulating the Patton brothers. Oh. And introduce yourself.
I'm Bobby Patton, and I'm right in the middle of 10 kids that my parents raised. And this is kind of typical. One of us isn't here. That's my brother Barry. He's stuck in China. He has some operations over there too. And it's also typical for our family that we all kind of get credit for one another's work, and this is a good example of it. I'll never forget that when we were growing up, I tell you, we were blamed for everything bad that happened in the neighborhood. And it was completely unfair because we were only responsible for maybe 80% of it. And it's really an all for one and one for all, and it's either all of us or none of us. My neighbor tells a story that one time he tried to contact our house. He called, and we had 5 telephone extensions in our house, and so with 10 kids, you need a lot of rooms and a big house, and that's what we had, and so phones were everywhere. He called up and he asked for one of us. He said, "Is Burt there?" And first he heard hello, 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 and he said, "Is Burt there?" And then he heard click, 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 click. So you pretty much get us all as a package or none at all. But Montgomery College was really great for us. If it wasn't for MC, we probably would not have had the opportunities that we did. I'm just thinking about it. I finished here in 1983, and in 1984 we started the company. And that only comes because we had the competence and the confidence from the education that we received at MC. And in a very significant sense, it was enough for us to get going. In fact, when I was here, I used to tell everybody that I could, especially in the administration and the faculty, that MC really ought to be a 4-year school. If it was a 4-year school, I'd be here all 4 years. I wouldn't go anyplace else. But I didn't have that option, so we ended up going to University of Maryland, all of us. Again, one for all and all for one. And the other thing, and yeah, my brother's reminding me, we all have consecutive Social Security numbers. So if you want to steal our identities, all you got to know is it's B Patton, and you get the first few numbers and you're set. And alliteration is big in our family too. It's 10 kids. We all begin with B: Bill, Bonnie, Bruce, Ben, Barry, Bobby, Burt, Beverly, Buffy, Barbie, Barbara, and Bob. We used to have contests, see who could say it faster. Bill, Bonnie, Bruce, Ben, Barry, Bobby, Burt, Beverly, Buffy, Barbie, Barbara, and Bob. MC made college possible for us and made it affordable for us. My dad could never have put 10 kids through college, especially at today's prices, and this just made it happen. And it was a fantastic education. I told my own kids, I tried to sell them on MC. MC is the place to go. You can get a couple years in, it's really low cost, the teachers are great, it's going to be as good an education as you'll get anyplace else. Brand name doesn't matter that much. Don't need a Harvard or a Yale. MC is a great school, and it has great teachers. I had great teachers. Teachers that taught me some of the most significant lessons that I've learned in my life. One of the most important is that to be successful, you got to be there. You can see where that's going, can't you? So I had one teacher that really insisted that you be there, and not only that you be there on time. And his name was Professor Gregg, and he was a math teacher. And I hold a grudge to him this day, but he taught me a really valuable lesson. And it's not only that you got to be there, but you got to be there on time. He had this really persnickety habit that he closed his door and locked it when class was supposed to start, and if you weren't there, you didn't get in. And so I'm walking up to his class, it's just about time for class to start, and he closes the door in my face and locks it. And I've never been more angry in my life, and he gave a test. And I had to drop the class. You got to be there on time. And that's a lesson, really, that I carry into business. And those are the two important factors. You got to be there, and you got to be there at the right time. And that's something that I learned at MC. And the teachers were encouraging. I had one of the most encouraging teachers was Dr. Pittenger, English teacher. And I was a computer science major and an engineering major. And Pittenger, great guy. Everybody was scared of him. He really gave you the riot act the first couple of weeks, and I think it was just to clear out the class and make it a little easier to teach, because a bunch of kids would drop the class after his lectures about you're never going to get an A in this class. But I'll tell you, if you stuck it out those first few weeks and you started writing papers, he was one of the most encouraging guys. I'll never forget, I got a paper, it was marked up, I had all kinds of punctuation errors, spelling errors, all kinds of things. And at the top of the paper, he was just saying, this is a fantastic paper. You did a great job. You've got the gift. And all kinds of errors, but he really built me up and gave me the confidence to go forward. And that's really what MC gave us all, was the ability and the confidence to go forward. So thank you all. I think that it really provided a foundation. one of the things that I think is that nobody's really self-made, and there's a lot that goes into contributing to the development of a person. And I think that for us, the teachers here and the opportunity that the education provided really gave the foundation, the stepping stone for us to go on in our careers. So definitely without MC, things would have been different. Probably would have been in different types of more labor-oriented work. So.
Bobby, Burt, Ben, Bonnie, I'm not even going to try that. 10 of them? Congratulations, guys. Great job. Oh, one thing before I go on here. I just always wanted to do this. I was never the athlete like these guys up there, so I never got the chance to go off the field and do this. Anybody recognize this? This is a Montgomery College football helmet. And as some of you know, football is one of the sports, it was a proud sport for a long time, and not going these days. Many, many years ago, they stopped having programs at all the other community colleges in the state of Maryland. It became very long distance to play and very tough to keep up. But this was a national championship, great football program, as you heard about in some of the stories tonight, for a lot of years. And Coach Bickey up there, Tom Bickey, the athletic director for a long time, when I was leaving here, or he was leaving here, I can't remember when you were retiring or when I went on to another assignment, gave this to me as a gift. And I do treasure it, but I've decided that one of the things I think would work best is if I tried to share this. We have a lot of people who really have an affection for it. So I want to give a plug. Coming up later this year will be the Montgomery College Golf Tournament. And we have a great silent auction. We have a wonderful golf tournament that goes on that day. And one of the many things you're going to find, and I'm going to start the bidding when that comes, but if you want, you're going to have to bid for this and maybe some Redskin tickets, because as I heard it, the story, the reason that Montgomery College's football team started burgundy and gold is they didn't have the money for the uniforms back when it started many, many years ago. And somebody had connections into the Washington Redskins, and so there were 2 burgundy and gold teams in the Washington area. So, well, I told you about the golf tournament. I want to tell you also, before we go, about another event. You heard me mention briefly the Mobile Masterpieces art drawing. This is another Alumni Association event. We want you to put on your calendar for October 23rd. We'll have a selection of artwork donated by members of the community. And if you buy a ticket for that event, you will be guaranteed to take home a piece of juried artwork, which you'll agree will be worth more than the ticket price. And see, you can go to both events, you can take something home, just like my helmet here. All the proceeds go toward the Alumni Association's effort to support student scholarships. And for the athletic friends, as I mentioned, in September, the 25th anniversary of the Montgomery College Foundation Golf Classic. This annual golf and tennis tournament is a fundraiser for foundation scholarships. And if you want more information about either one of these events, including the donations of artwork, if you want to be involved in that, you can contact the alumni office, and we encourage you to do so. Before we close, I want to acknowledge a special group of future alumni, the students who have volunteered to assist our honored guests throughout this evening. Let me ask them to stand for a moment, all the students who have helped out tonight, so we can thank you for your service tonight. And now I'm going to give my final congratulations to all the recipients, and I want to say a good evening to all of you. But right now, it's my pleasure and my honor to invite up to the podium Dr. Michael Lynn, the chair of Montgomery College's Board of Trustees. He's a retired program director at the National Institutes of Health. And Dr. Lynn, if you give us a few closing remarks. Thank you.
What an evening. I enjoyed and appreciate every minute of it. And I feel so privileged to be a part of this event. And I even feel more honored that I have the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you while we're closing. First of all, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I wish to extend our congratulations to every award recipient and the inductee of the Athletic Hall of Fame. Tonight we gather here to celebrate your achievement, and this event has always been one of the highlights at the college. I've assumed the board chair position last July, and it has been a very intense 10 months. First, there was the presidential transition. Now we are searching for the next president. And there are at least 2 alumni on the advisory committee for the search. One is Bob Costello, representing the foundation, and also Jorge Urichia, who is representing Alumni Association. And I understand that our advisory committee just 2 days ago went through the first round of screening, and there are a lot of strong candidates, and they will follow up with in-person interview next week. And then at the end of that, they will select a few finalists presented to the board for the final decisions. But we are so fortunate to have Dr. Pinckney carrying the torch during this transition. After the historic record snowfall, now we are facing with a record county-state deficit. Just when the college reached a record enrollment last fall, more than 26,000 credited students. That's only 400 students less than College Park, the undergraduate student. Just think about that. And many of you were there when the college testified at the county council 2 weeks ago, and thank to Lon Anderson for testifying on behalf of you, all of you. And many of you have already contacted county council members. Now, we are not optimistic how much or any of the cut will be restored, but we will keep up the effort and continue advocating for the need of the college. So in closing, let me just share an observation, and I shared part of this with you last year. We often say students are the center of the universe. However, when you were a student, your presence here was just transient. You came and went in 2 years or even less. However, when you move on and realize how much this experience have enriched your life, only then your relationship with the college flourishes in a lifelong special bonding. Every day you are out there contributing, visible as alumni of the college, you are representing the college, and you become the faces of the college. So we thank you for your presence out there, and we continue to make sure that the college is affordable, accessible, and stay as an excellent academic institution for those who will come after you, years after year. So we look forward to working with you and see you on the next occasion. And again, our congratulations to each awardee, and thank you, and have a very good night. Thank you very much.
That's it, folks. I think we broke a record. I want to thank all of our honorees. I want to once again congratulate all the honorees and wish everybody a great night. Thank you from the Montgomery College Alumni Association.